And as a consequence of all this activity, we now have the following spectacle. In early December, the UN holds a seminar relating to Kristallnacht. On November the 29th, the day in 1947 that the UN voted to partition Palestine into a Jewish and Arab state, the UN holds a day of solidarity with the Palestinian people. November 29th is a day celebrated by the victims of the Holocaust. But at the UN, it is considered al-Nakba, the catastrophe, or as Kofi Annan once put it, a day of mourning and a day of grief. It is also a day in which another half-dozen anti-Israeli resolutions are brought before the General Assembly. On January 27th, the UN holds International Day commemorating the victims of the Holocaust. And on January 28th to the following January 26th, the UN holds hundreds of meetings worldwide, produces hundreds of reports, press releases, and communications of all kinds, and adopts dozens of resolutions, all of which promote terrorism and condemn Israel's exercise of the right of self-defense. The UN provides a platform for a Holocaust survivor one day, and Ahmadinejad, a second Holocaust promoter, the next. In other words, at the UN, concern about the death of Jews 60 years ago is evidently different than murdering Jews in Israel in the here and now. Remembrance is not an end in itself. It is naive to ignore that Holocaust remembrance at the UN is being used to cast the demonization of Israel as a legitimate criticism. In my view, it is too high a price to pay for a history lesson lost on the vast majority of the UN's inhabitants. In conclusion, the UN Charter's equal rights of men and women and of nations large and small was a promise to all members of humankind, but especially to the Jewish people who had been left in the rubble in an illusory scramble for higher ground. Israel, as this people's shield against the repeat of such a calamity, embodies the hope and trust and spiritual affinity of Jews the world over. None of them claim perfection for their young state. The very substrate of human rights is equality. That's what they claim, and this is the very commodity no longer deliverable by today's United Nations. Thank you.